Hi, I'm Jamie Ackert, Innovation and Learning Coach at Manor Hill Elementary School and Lewis and Clark Elementary School.
And I'm Ashley Duvall, the Innovation and Learning Coach at Ridgeview and Warren Hills. We would like to welcome you to our first LPS Elementary Literacy Professional Development module. Your coaching team is taking an approach of delivering PD through a flipped model. Once a month, you'll be receiving a new module that will provide you with current research and resources to support literacy instruction based on the professional development plan identified in the literacy framework.
In this segment, we will be looking at the LPS comprehensive reading approach and the components within. The key point to understand is that having a comprehensive reading approach allows us to be cognizant of the K-12 learner. It is important to note that each individual element of literacy fits into a bigger picture of the learner as a whole. The TAC provided contains opportunities for continued professional development as well as the links to the literacy framework and our talking points from today. Each module will be linked directly to the literacy framework so administrators and teachers can go back to reference it at any time.
The first component is highly qualified educators. We believe teachers are the greatest asset we have in our district. That is why our framework is designed to support teachers and develop their understanding for literacy instruction in meaningful ways.
The next part is data teams. Our building leaders are data team certified and have trained teachers in the 6-step data cycle. In this system, priority standards are assessed and data is collected. Student evidence is then analyzed to identify strengths and needs of our learners. Once these are established, our SMART goals are set. Our teachers are then strategic with choosing instructional strategies that will help foster growth among our learners. Result indicators are then determined to assist in measuring the effectiveness of the selected strategies. Finally, monitoring learning takes place to evaluate the learner results and determinations are made to determine next steps.
Coaching and mentoring. LPS utilizes a research-based, student-centered coaching model based off Diane Sweeney's research. This supports teachers in designing learning experiences that are targeted, differentiated, and aligned with Missouri learning standards and expectations to maximize student achievement. Our innovation and learning coaches also utilize a first and second year teacher program that offers continual and relevant support through sound partnering practices. These practices include, but are not limited to, conversations, observations, co-teaching, reflections, and collaborative planning.
Next up, we have the RTI framework. The LPS RTI framework was created by our own LPS administrators to help in establishing a common language and RTI process for all students needing Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction.
Moving on to high standards. As a district, we follow the high expectations of the Missouri Learning Standards. Priority standards have also been identified to assist in the focus of instruction and to maximize the impact on student learning.
Then we have common assessments. Creating and using common assessments helps to center our teams on what needs to be accomplished with their instruction and curriculum. When this happens, teams actually find time because they can be laser-like in their instruction and decisive on what must be supported or modified in their curriculum along the way. Teams must develop a common summative assessment in order to center their collaborative work.
Next, the 5 components of literacy. Research has repeatedly demonstrated the importance of initial instruction that includes the 5 critical components of reading: phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. To be most effective, the 5 critical components need to be taught explicitly within classrooms that are strongly positive and engaging. Use writing activities to support literacy and provide students with many opportunities to read interesting text and complete authentic reading and writing assignments. Teachers typically follow a core reading curriculum to guide instruction in whole and small group settings. Small group instruction should be individualized to reflect the instructional needs of the students. Individual student needs are determined by formal screening and progress monitoring assessments, classroom assessments, and teacher observations. The goal is to use information from multiple sources to group students in a way that makes instruction in critical reading skills most efficient.
Then we have our professional development plan. Innovation and learning coaches have worked with district leaders to design a timeline of professional development topics to provide teachers with ongoing support in literacy instruction. This professional development plan can be located on the Literacy Framework website by going to the Professional Development tab on the side. This outlines what we will be doing for the rest of the year to support literacy instruction.
Moving to guided reading and conferring. The purpose of guided reading and conferring is to provide students with differentiated reading instruction based on their individual needs and goals. Within this time, teachers are focusing on a variety of skills. These skills include decoding and word attack skills, reading with engagement and enthusiasm, reading strategically, engaging in meaningful conversations about books, reading fluently and with expression, reading increasingly more challenging text, readers identifying appropriate level text, reading independently, using comprehension strategies to become a proficient and skilled reader, valuing a variety of genres in text. These small group independent methods described are supported by our district with the aim of supporting children as readers and thinkers and discussers of books.
Next, we have written and oral expression. Some would argue being able to communicate effectively is one of the most important of all of life skills. Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place to another, whether this be orally, written, visually, or non-verbally. How well this information can be transmitted and received is a measure of how good our communication skills are. Developing students' communication skills will help all aspects of their life and support students' college and career readiness. The ability to communicate information accurately, clearly, and as intended is a vital life skill and something that should not be overlooked.
Next, Curriculum Council. Curriculum Council is a teacher leadership team who gathers 3 times yearly for professional development on curriculum, instruction, and assessment in order to lead content and grade level teams on curriculum and assessment reviews and updates. In addition, Curriculum Council representatives contribute and provide input to resource selection, pedagogical areas of focus, and district communication about classroom, building, and district improvement.
Then we have our instructional strategies. As a district, we have created the LPS Instructional Practices website. This website can be accessed under the LPS for Staff link on the curriculum page. And this is a platform to support teachers in the utilization of effective instructional practices. The practices and strategies that are provided are research-based to ensure high outcomes of all learners.
Next, we have research-based alignment. All components of the LPS comprehensive approach to literacy are backed by research and were sequenced to support the progression of learning for students.
Then that brings us to personalized learning. LPS focuses on strategies and tools to meet the needs of all learners. Our students have access to adaptive learning tools that can provide differentiated instruction as well as instant feedback on progress.
Finally, this takes us to the literacy framework. The framework was developed with the intention of supporting all teachers by providing the skills and routines necessary for effective literacy instruction in phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, comprehension, fluency, and spelling. This framework includes research-based scope and sequence for Tier 1 instruction, evidence-based literacy instruction, opportunities for differentiation, suggested assessment opportunities, resources for teachers, administrators, and student support, RTI support for Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction.
Now that we've discussed the different pieces of the comprehensive approach to literacy, we'll go ahead and walk you through the rest of what's included on this TAC. The first thing is the graphic that we just walked through, and then down at the bottom, there are opportunities for more professional reading. This first one takes you to a link that talks through all the elements that we discussed earlier. Then the green buttons are more opportunities for professional reading. This link right here is actually a video from the Florida Center of Reading Research on the 5 components of reading and instructional practices for that. And then this final button is a link to the literacy professional development plan that we showed you earlier. This module will be linked on the professional development plan under September. All future modules will also be linked under their corresponding months. This way you can access them at any time.
Thank you for your time today. We hope this information supports you in the work you do with students every day in your classroom. Please look for the next module in late October. If you need any additional support, please contact your building coach or administrator. Thank you again.